Well, all change, all revolutions, all major movements in history began with just one voice, one person bold enough to be heard and followed. That's the inspiration for the Power of One conference in Colorado Springs. CBN correspondent Stephanie Riggs caught up with millennials attending the conference who are hoping to find their voice to promote God's plan for America.
One woman, Susan B. Anthony, pioneered the women's suffrage movement, paving the way for women to vote.
She had that warring inside of her, but nevertheless, she still was willing to push forward and fight for something that we get to appreciate today a lot.
One woman, Mother Teresa, followed God's call to help the poor, changing lives forever.
But as far as Mother Teresa goes, it's so exciting to you don't have to do a lot of different things, but God wants us to live outside of this building. God wants us to live outside of what our comfort zone might look like. God wants us to live outside of what the normal looks like. And so we don't have to do a lot of things, but it's an opportunity to show a love that a lot of people don't ever get to experience ever.
A lot of times we think, the people that were being the one, that's something significant they did, but we think, maybe when I'm 25, when I'm 30, when I'm 35, when I'm 50, and we forget that, God is not looking for someone of a certain age. He's looking for the willing vessel.
Hearing these stories makes me feel I need to do them now. But learning that I need to be faithful in the small things that I have now in order for me to move into those big things that eventually will come.
Historians, professors, and pastors here want to nurture new voices to take the lead in proclaiming God's plan for America.
People are looking for stable relationships. Oftentimes, we call this the 18 to 30-year-olds the lost generation. Because it's even those raised in church, goodbye high school, goodbye God, goodbye youth group, and yet they come limping back to the church in their late 20s. But it's a generation looking for stability, not only in what they believe, but in the relationships in their life. And Christianity gives that, guarantees that in spades.
The common thread running through this Power of One conference is the question, what can I do?
Jesus specifically said, blessed are the peacemakers. He never said, blessed are the peacekeepers. And so what does that look like, the power of one? Be a peacemaker. Be willing to open up and have an awkward conversation with somebody. Be willing to have friends with people you wouldn't be friends with. Be willing to talk with people you wouldn't be willing to talk to. Taking those steps makes you a peacemaker instead of just a peacekeeper. A peacekeeper will never talk about anything and ultimately never see anything accomplished. But a peacemaker changes the world.
Who knows who will be the next person to change the world forever? All it takes is one voice, one vision, one movement, under one nation for God. In Colorado Springs, Stephanie Riggs, CBN News.